In Focus with Yesenia Taveras returns on September 24th at 12 noon on WITN 22. Get ready for new guests, watch and get inspired with your community leaders in one place. Connect with people with award-winning host Yesenia Taveras and special guest Udini La Voz. Get the new information while guests share their journeys with award-winning host Yesenia Taveras and special guest Udini La Voz. We're focusing on the community, so mark your calendars to watch true stories and get new ideas online. On In Focus with Yesenia Taveras. Hello and welcome to In Focus. I'm your host Yesenia Taveras, and it's such an honor to be back in the comfort of our own homes. Unfortunately, all of the live showings of In Focus were canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but we're back now and we're joining you virtually. And today I have a very special guest. He goes by the name Udini La Voz, and he's very well known throughout the Hispanic community in the tri-state area. He's worked with the Philadelphia 76ers, the law students at Penn, and he's also got a citation from Philadelphia. And most recently, he's been recognized by the Philadelphia Inquirer as 2020's top 10 significant Latino achievers. He joins us now. Thank you so much, Udini, for being here with us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes, it's such an honor. I know you're always on the road, you're traveling, you're filming. If you're not filming, you're doing interviews, you're modeling. You have your own talk shows too as well. So just thank you for taking this time to be on In Focus.
Of course.
So talk to us a little bit before we get into who you are as a person. How have you been able to handle the COVID-19 pandemic? How are you and your family doing?
Well, the most important thing about this time is really staying healthy. I'm making sure that everyone around me is safe. But I have been pretty active and really being cautious. Like I said, making sure that everyone around me stays healthy too.
Right.
But this has been all about adjusting, finding ways to continue being productive and with all of the projects that are on the table and making sure that those projects continue moving forward. But
Yes.
yeah, it has been just all about adjusting and staying healthy.
That's right. Our health is very important. So let's get right into it, Udini. For those who possibly don't know anything about you, let's take a little bit back to Panama. Born and raised in Panama.
Yes.
Talk to us about the island, how it was growing up there, some type of hardships you might have faced. Talk to us about your upbringing in Panama.
Yes. Well, I mean, coming up in Panama, it wasn't the easiest thing because of the neighborhood that I came from.
Mhm.
I had to grow up around a lot of violence, and you know how that goes. Trying to follow your dream, and at the same time ducking bullets. I mean, it's really not always the easiest thing to do because your life is on the line constantly. You know.
Mhm.
But I was able to, to follow my dream through all those circumstances, and he even, introduced me to a lot of pain because the violence took my best friend, and
Mhm.
but thanks to basketball, I was able to stay in the right path, not get discouraged by it,
Mhm.
and he even got me out of the country. So I have been one of the blessed ones.
Definitely. And talk to us a little bit about how you were to uh, just able to maneuver that moment in your life when when the violence did take your friend away. Unfortunately, we have violence going on right now at a
Yeah.
peak during this pandemic. A lot of our communities, especially in the city, are facing this crime rate going up. As we all know, the pressures have heightened, just the stress level, the anxiety. How did you just be able to just get through that part in your life, and talk to us a little bit about what worked for you at that time?
Well, basketball, sticking to the sport, because if it wasn't for basketball, then I would have definitely got discouraged by it. losing my friend. Like he was literally my brother, and we was together every day. His mother was my godmother, so it was like taking like a he took part of me. So but I always had love for basketball. I was very connected with basketball. I was at school. Um, in school, I was able to get a lot of recognition by playing basketball, and that recognition got me a scholarship to come to the States. So, with everything that was going on, I was able to stay in the right direction that took me out of Panama.
And let's talk about that, Udini. Any of your followers, I mean, you have thousands of followers. If they were to come and take a photo op with you, you absolutely stand taller than 6 feet. So
Oh
we can
my
see
God!
where the basketball came in. But
Yes, definitely. Listen, I this is something that I have been dealing with for a very long time. You see people joking with me that they need a chair to take a picture with me, and it's just so funny. It has been fun, just interacting with people through my height. You
right,
know what I
it's
mean? Yeah,
extending the chat, right?
I made a lot of good friends through my height. So yeah.
So on a more serious note, talk to us about that point in your life where basketball was kind of your ticket out. For a lot of Latinos, especially male Latinos in other countries, they look to soccer. Well, we call it football, but
Yeah,
soccer, American soccer,
yeah.
or baseball. But you chose basketball. So talk to us about the role basketball played in your life and how you were able to use that as not only a ticket in America, but to open up more doors for you here in America.
And honestly, I don't I don't even know how I ended up loving basketball so much because I was surrounded by nothing but soccer. Like all of my friends that I grew up with play soccer, but I always took basketball instead. I love soccer. I wanted to play soccer, but my friends didn't let me because I wasn't good enough, and they wanted to put me in as a goalkeeper. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be the goalkeeper. I want to be out in the field with y'all guys. You're like, nah, man, you need to stick with basketball. So I mean, a lot of these basketball skills was also came from my friends encouraging me to stay with basketball. And I also came from a place, I mean, from a neighborhood that was one of the best neighborhoods in basketball throughout the whole country, which was Calle Pe. When you hear about Calle Pe, you know that's the place that makes champions. So yeah, that's something that really like that I carry on throughout my basketball career. And but yeah, that's but yes, it's pretty weird that I ended up playing basketball because most of my friends that I grew up with, they really like soccer players, really, and but it's been a blessing, it's been a blessing. Basketball saved my life, literally.
Wonderful. And not only basketball, you fell in love with music. A
I
lot
fell
of us
in
can
love with
relate to music.
music. Yes, I'm gonna tell you why. Because I had a car accident. I had a car accident that kind of distanced me from the sport,
Okay.
and after that, I had to tap into what I knew I had also, which was writing. Back in college, a professor told me that he really liked my topics on my
Okay.
papers. So I always remember that, So after that, I felt like basketball was over, I tapped into the next passion, and it was music, writing, trying to tell stories through music. And the first time I heard myself, it was like, wow, this is something that I can really do. Like, so yeah, that's how music started.
So let's get into your music career. Talk to us about the earlier days when you first started in America. What were some of the hardships and the challenges you faced? Because we know just any American trying to get into the entertainment industry, it's very difficult and challenging. However, you are Latino, you are from Panama.
Yeah,
Uh, Tú puedes hablar en español en inglés. So, like, talk to us a little bit about how you were able to maneuver this path and make it work for you.
honestly, I um I was always, for some reason, I have never been booed in my life. I have never felt like not welcome in a room, and for some reason, I connected with people outside of music. So when I did music, it was easier. You
Mhm.
know, um, I tapped into the Latino market later on. Before, all of my gigs were like at places where people didn't speak Spanish. And I was doing the Spanglish thing, and I used to. I mean, I still focus. I used to focus on making music that have catchy words that I know people will be like, "Whoa, I heard that before." So when I perform these songs and they hear it, they're like, "Hey, songs like Big Ups, songs like Caramba, those songs really open a lot of doors for me, because people remember those words from Big Ups, Caramba. Hey, I think I heard Caramba before. You know what that means?" And he'll give me a chance to explain to them what he meant. And he opened conversations, he made connections, and definitely created relationships. So yeah, music has really not been like too hard for me to connect with people, but it's just that I'm in a side where the there is not really a big market for it. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
not like in New York or Miami. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
being in one of our countries. Um, we in Philly, which is more dominated by American music. So it has been challenging in that aspect. But at the end of the day, I can't complain because I have been connected with people through music. I have never let anybody down.
And you mentioned Big Ups. That is by far one of my favorite earlier songs that you produced and you wrote as well. I
Yeah,
just love the way how you bring all the cultures together. It's very hard, especially within the Latino community. Sometimes they like to stay in groups, Puerto Ricans with Puerto Ricans, Dominicans with Dominicans,
yeah,
so on and so on. But you made sure, as a Panamanian, that all these different backgrounds come together. And I
yeah,
love that about you because it speaks volumes to the word community and you and uniting all of us. Talk
yeah.
to us about why that is part of your mission, uniting all these cultures together through your music.
Um, I think unconsciously, big ups did that to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because big ups is like, let me tell you, Panama is very connected with the Jamaican culture.
Yeah.
And big up, it's like it's a Jamaican saying. You don't hear too many Americans saying like big up, big up. It comes from reggae. Big up, big up. So when I did that big up, I started thinking about, hey, bigging up my people that's away from me, and bigging up my primo, my uncle. Bigging up my mom, bigging up my primo, and then I brought that to Philly, and on the video was like, hey, big up to you, and big up to you, and I saw how people embraced it, because people felt part of it. And I'm like, man, this is the lane that I need to be taking. You know what I mean? So it kind of happened natural. And after that, I just continued taking that lane and making music that, bring people in and keep people united. And now he introduced me to to a new way of making music and just making fun music that make people feel good, make people feel like part of something. You
Right.
know,
And,
and,
and
and
be relatable.
yeah, and after that, I focus on a song called "We Go Hard," where I mentioned all of the Spanish countries, and that song really like took me to places that I wouldn't imagine. You know what I mean? Being a new artist, and he opened a lot of doors. I focused on that song, and I said, you know what? I want to perform this song in all of the festivals around the tri-state area, and that's exactly what I did. And the song just opened the door for me. You know, I would perform in the festival, and then there would be somebody that would invite me to the next festival. You know, because they wanted to hear their country and stuff like that. So yeah, this is it happened natural. You know, it happened very natural for me, and now I'm like a community guy. You know,
Yeah.
and it's been beautiful, man. I have met a lot of people, and I have love for people, you know, through music.
And Odini, you speak about the connection that music has opened its doors for you. That's just one of the things that I've seen some of the benefits for you. I actually met you at a event that I was covering here in Delaware,
Yes, yes,
and I couldn't even. You remember that was like years ago now.
yeah, yeah. It's
But you really have been able to meet just so many profound leaders in our community,
hmm
and you've been able to form partnerships. And one of those partnerships I want to talk about is Higher Than Seven, which you co-founded, and then we'll also get into talking about your partnership with Penn Law.
Penn Law, yeah. Well, Higher Than Seven, he started with my producer, which is now the CEO of Higher Than Seven, and the engineer, you know, which his name is. I mean, the producer is 80 Sounds, and the engineer is Diapolis. And we three decided that, you know what, man, we have so much talent and skills that we should just keep this as a family, build something that we can create whatever we want, and you know, and that's how we that's how that's how we came up with the idea of becoming a company. You know, because Higher Than Seven now is a production company, and he started from just us loving to create. You know what I mean? And you know, we did our own videos, we created our own music, and everything was in the house. So it's like, why not start something that will be bigger than us? You know, that we can bring talent into. And yes, now you got Higher Than Seven, and later on, now we are collaborating with Penn Law. Penn Law has taken Higher Than Seven as a project to work on with the students. You know, so we got the students working on our company. You know, and making sure our company has the right tools to be a great business company. You know what I mean? And they have taken good care of us as far as teaching us the business side of it, how to stay protected within and outside the company. And it has been amazing. Shout out to the people at Penn Law.
And one of the great things too about your partnership with Penn Law is the importance of exposing those students to the entertainment industry,
That,
the production side of it. Why was that one of your goals to make sure that you're exposing students, not also just the students at Penn, but also Latinos and the youth to what it is that you're doing in your passion?
oh, because well, he's pretty much helping each other. You know, one hand helping the other. You know, these are the students that they need to before they go out there, they need to go out there knowing how it works. You know, so us being this hungry entrepreneurs, you know, and they being these hungry students, that made a perfect combination, because now we helping each other to, you know, we once we get in the business, now we have the proper backup, we have the proper documentation, and these guys got the proper experience. So it was like, you know, one hand helping the other.
So, Udini, through your music, you are known as an influencer, not only on social media, on all your platforms like Facebook and Instagram, but also within the community. You're very respected by our community leaders, by our politicians, by the Latino community. That could be a lot of weight on someone's shoulders. Talk to us about a little bit of just how you've been able to handle that, and how do you take and hone in that role, and what do you do knowing that too much is given, much is owed, and much is required?
Yeah, that's it's all about taking responsibility and being part of the solution. I recognize that I could be the solution through my music. Music is very influential. You know what I mean? That's is probably why being a rapper is really not easy because a lot of rappers we come from hard places, and and through our raps, through our lyrics, we show a lot of frustration. We show our harsh upbringing, and he has gave us a bad reputation. To be honest with you, so being a rapper is not it's not hard, it's not easy, but I'm not a negative artist. I don't promote negativity,
That's right.
or I choose not to be part of the problem. You know what I mean? Because to be honest, there's a lot of ignorance in rap music. That's why the right rappers might be looked at as, oh, he's just one of them, or he's a rapper. But I wanna separate myself from that. I wanna show that, hey, there are rappers that you know are part of the solution. So me taking that responsibility, and understanding that our community need leaders has been been has made it easy for me, and people is recognizing that. Whenever like, to help the community, you need people to step up, right? and
Right.
and and yes, and once the community call, I'm there, and other leaders recognize that, and I have gained that respect because of that. Oh, this guy don't really hesitate to be there for his community, whether it is me, sharing my time with the community, and my talent. I'm there. Whether it is giving out water, or feeding the kids in the roughest neighborhood of Philadelphia, I'm there. So through that, and that's nothing that I'm doing to gain popularity or whatever, but I'm doing it because I'm just part of the solution.
And
That's
talk
what
to us about how you've been part of the solution, not only in Philadelphia, but also in Delaware. You make it a point to really get out of the Philadelphia area, and immerse yourself into the tri state area. Why is that so important for you?
because it's I mean there is more than one community, you know what I mean, and anywhere I can help, I will. If I can get out of the country, and help a community be a better community, I will. And that's pretty the goal. That's pretty much the goal of mine. I wanna go to places where I can, leave a mark in a positive way, and help in any way I can. So it's just not Philadelphia, but I consider Philadelphia as a home, and it starts at home. So that's just what I represent. I represent the solution for the community.
That's right. And one of the solutions that you created not so long ago is the commercial partnership with the Philadelphia 76ers. You're able to put your height in there with a little bit of basketball as well.
Yeah, well, that comes from just me loving basketball. I think that's something that's naturally happened. Me connecting my other talent with basketball. Because this connection come for it's about modeling and acting. So I have been blessed to be Ben Simmons, uh, double. I don't think I look like Ben Simmons, but I have been able to get the job done. I don't look like Joel Embiid, but I can get the job done just because I'm a basketball player first, you
That's
know,
right.
and he's paying off in a way, you know. I'm not in the NBA as I once wanted to be, but I'm doing things with NBA players. So at the end of the day, he's paying off in a way, you know.
It is. It is. As you keep
Yeah,
talking, I'm
it's
just thinking to
very
myself,
exciting. I was able to dunk a basket of an NBA court. So
not many of
that's
us
an
can see that.
accomplishment. I was like, wow, this, you know, and I
That's
was able
awesome.
to and I was able to inspire a lot of kids that's you know that's growing up following those steps, you know, following that dream that, hey, man, even if it doesn't work, you still make it work in any way possible, you know. So that's the example behind that. So yeah, I have been blessed to be put in a position to still give that example because you know that can easily discourage somebody when you know they have a dream and a tragedy happen and then you can't play basketball no more or you get distance from the sport. But hey, it doesn't stop there. You know what I mean? Whether you tap into the next thing or you continue trying to make it happen in any way possible. So yeah, that's my example behind the whole, you know, 76ers and things like that. Yeah.
That's what I admire about your story truly is
Yeah.
so many of us we tend to sometimes want to only focus on one skill that we've had the opportunity to hone in on when truthfully a lot of us we have more than one skill that we can actually
Of course,
produce here
of course.
in the world, and
Mm.
you're a testament to that. You've been able to merge the two, basketball and music, together
Yeah.
to have a platform for yourself, and that's
Yes.
amazing.
Actually, listen, uh, um, today I experienced something that's so connected to what are you saying because I went to the gym and one of the young ladies that worked there, she was doing a sketch. She was just you know while she had a break, I guess she started like sketching or something, and then she was gonna paint it, and it looks like she was doing you know, I looked at it. I said, hey, is that is that what you go to school for? And she said, no, this is just what I do, you know, in my free time or whatever. I said, wow, because I think you can create like backgrounds for fish tanks. And she like her eyes lit up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And she like wow, like I get you know I he gave me a vision. So you really doing something that can turn into something bigger that you don't even imagine. You know what I mean? So it's oh, I'm sure she passionate about something else because she told me, hey, I just do this on my free time. So that's pretty much that would be something that she would use if that main dream doesn't work. You know what I mean? She can definitely because that was amazing what she was doing. You
Yes.
know, and that's yeah. So that
And
was cool to see.
that's definitely good for you to be able to just share that experience, because sometimes it just takes a moment with someone to give some input like you did to help the next person actually expand and elevate
Always,
their idea.
always, yes, always. Just last night, I did it again last night. You just bringing that back to me. Um, my producer called me and he called me and he made a beat for he's working on a song with his son
Okay.
and I heard the song through the phone and I'm like man that sound I never heard his son music before and I guess his son just started doing that and as soon I heard the song it gave me a feeling of like the song I guess it's like a romantic song or whatever and I'm like hey man that song just gave me a vision of you being in the bike on a bike with your girlfriend, you know, her hair flowing, and you on a highway on your way to a different state. You know, he just lit up too. We like, man, yes, that's exactly how it feels. And I love sharing things like that. You know what I mean? If something give me a vision, if I see it, a vision, an idea, I share that right away. I inspire that person at that moment.
And does that talk to your name, Udini La Voz? Is that why you picked that name and you chose that name, or should I say that name chose you because you really do use your voice as an avenue to speak on these things, and not only these things, but all those topics that you reach about through your music?
Yeah. Yes, Udini. Well, my name is Odin, and Udini came from my name and me feeling like I make magic and when I make music. So Houdini, Houdin, Odin, yeah, it's like I put my own twist to it, because people hear it at first and they think I'm saying Houdini, like the magician. No, this is
Right.
Houdini, the and then later on, I decided to add La Voz because I want to be the voice, the voice that inspire others, the voice that speak up for the ones that don't have a voice,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I just stuck with that, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And on a more serious note, because you are using your voice through your music to talk about more sensitive topics that are really talked about throughout the nation, not only United States of America, but in the world. And one of those topics is the Black Lives Matter movement and what's going on with that community. So, talk to us a little bit about your perspective on the Black Lives Matter movement and how you chose to incorporate what's going on right now in America and in the world to your music.
Well, something that inspired me to take sides with that is my past experience that I had with cops while growing up in Panama. And I felt like I grew up with that frustration that we are now experiencing around even the world. Not just in
Mhm.
the United States, but even the world. And it was just a feeling that I related to. Me being oppressed by police, and now seeing that it continue happening. It's very disgusting. It's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. And I felt like as an artist, I had to add my voice to the issue. And I decided to utilize an instrumental that is well known and is used by Drake in one of his latest freestyle to express those feelings. And I did just that. I talk about the injustice of the police towards people of color, and I also decided to take that time to, hey, Latinos, this is our time to speak up because we have been quiet. This is happening to us too, but we have to take sides with the rest of the people that being oppressed. I really hate talking about black and white, and you know what I mean, because at the end of the day, I see everybody as one. But it's frustrating that we're still dealing with this kind of issues and dying over nothing. Because
Right.
that could have been me at one point, or it could be me today. Um, so yes, so this was a time for me to encourage Latinos to really speak up, add my voice to the issue. And hey, this is your problem too, because you have been oppressed for too long, and you need to speak up. You know what I mean? There is Latinos dying all over the world and country, and nobody knows.
That's
you
right.
know and that's what it is. It's just empowering our people to speak up, just have a voice, be heard. And that's it. I also took a took a shot at the the COVID-19 situation where I just felt rebellious a little bit, towards that situation, because I felt like it was, I don't know. It's something that is against humans. I love all people, and I felt like it's something that was against us. So I felt rebellious. I don't want to wear a mask. I'm gonna put my bandana instead, because I don't want to feel like I'm a puppet or I'm being, used, or just whatever, you know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
felt like in a way to go against it, and I don't want to do the vaccine, and I'm so against that because we felt like I mean in my own personal opinion, I feel like viruses are created. They not like they are not like bacteria or anything. Bacteria grows. Viruses, I feel like they are created.
Yeah.
And now they push in a vaccine, and they push it in a way where, oh, if you don't take this vaccine, you cannot do this or you cannot leave the country. And that's what's happening in Panama now, in my country. They about to push the vaccine, and if people don't take it, they're not gonna allow these people to leave their town, stuff like that. So I feel like that's not humanitarian at all, and it goes against humans. So I feel a little frustrated about that. I don't have all the facts. That's why I didn't
Right.
really go into too much detail on the song. But hey, I'm against certain things that doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
So talk to us about how you're able to incorporate your views and these frustrations into your song. I had the pleasure of watching your song, and one of the things I noticed right away is that not only are you talking about the Black Lives Matter movement,
Yeah.
Latinos coming together, but you are also talking, or should I say, showing the whites and other races in these videos that you created for this song. So talk to us about how you made sure that you had all the races that you could have represented in this video to show unification in a time where the world is really trying to separate all of us.
Yes, I really wanted more. This goes against us. That's the way I feel, and and it also the message that I want to send through that is unity. I made it seem like it was a room full of leaders, and they waiting for a Latino voice to be added to the issue, and they was there to support that, and that's exactly what I wanted to do with that video, and that's exactly how it came out. And I'm very thankful for that. Shout out to Jay West, the director, for bringing my vision to life. And I wanted to be like the private place because these things are happening in places that we don't know. So this unity that we creating is happening in a place that they don't know neither. So I wanted to send that message. Shout out to Hollywood Collision Expert that provided us with the great space. It worked out perfectly for the idea, for the vision, and yeah. But the main yes, the main message that I wanted to send was, hey man, through unity we can accomplish a lot, everything. So yeah. Let,
That's
let, let me speak up, and this, all the races is gonna back me up.
Yeah, we are a lot stronger. There's that saying out there, use the fist. The separator, we're not that strong, but together we form a mighty fist, and we're stronger. We can tackle more problems coming together as opposed to just single handedly trying to solve them ourselves.
Solve the problem. Yeah, that's impossible. And we I have the situation that happened in Puerto Rico. Where the whole Puerto Rico came together and they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. I don't
Mhm.
really want to talk too much on that, but that was a perfect example of how things get accomplished when the whole, as I mean, as a we as a whole come together. You know,
Right.
that was beautiful to see that Puerto Rico accomplished that when they came together. And that's gonna be an example for life for us
Definitely.
to utilize. Hey, listen, man, that's the way to go. You know what I mean? That's the way to go. And the leaders make sure they were there. The community was sure they were there, and everybody fought together. So that I always remember that. So shout out to Puerto Rico.
That's right. And so what's next for you, Udini? What is down the pipeline for you? I know we have COVID-19 that's affecting a lot of people's jobs right now, but you're still pushing forward. Like I said, you've been
Of
recognized by
course.
the Philadelphia Inquirer. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, what's next is really what's now. You know what I mean? Right now we have a huge problem in our hands, and we need to solve it. You know, because a lot of people is out here and not knowing what's gonna happen tomorrow. I don't know
Mhm.
what's gonna happen tomorrow. So you know, the main focus should be today. How we gonna get ourselves in the right path, and how we gonna get through this today. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? Because tomorrow, I don't know. We don't know. There is a lot of things that um that are going on that we're not aware of. So you know, right now, look, I can't perform. I can't tell you I'm gonna set up a show tomorrow. You know, and I'm gonna try to get 100 people in there because it's not gonna happen. You know, so right now it's like, what can we do today to make that happen tomorrow?
Hmm.
You
That's right. And
know,
being
so
creative as well, because you did drop
you
this
got
new
it.
song and you're able to get the production completed. And it's very hard for artists in this
Yes,
pandemic
it
right
is.
now.
It is. You know, there are studios that you're not capable of going. You know what I mean? There you can be around certain people and this and that. So yeah, this definitely bringing a different side of creativity for all artists. So that's is also a good thing to to be thankful for, because now we tapping into our creative our other creative sides of us. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
it's something to be thankful for. We finding things that we didn't know we had, and
Yeah.
we adjusting. We making it happen. You know, you just have Bad Bunny performing in the middle of on top of a truck in the middle of New York. Performing the song with the Panamanian artist, Sech, in the middle of Panama, and they was able to make that a whole show, and it was just beautiful. That means that we are becoming more creative, that we are adjusting, and there
Mhm.
is nothing that can stop us once we bring our mind together.
Right.
You
I'm
know,
always a strong advocate for pa'lante,
of
pa'lante, right?
course, yeah, pa'lante, and that's the beautiful thing about humans, man. No matter what we go through, we're gonna adjust, and we're gonna keep moving. You
That's
know, so yes, I'm excited to see what the I mean I'm excited to see everybody get through these tough times and what's gonna happen. I'm excited to see that. But more importantly is how we gonna get through this now.
that's right. And
Yeah,
so are
man.
we. And
Yeah.
before we go, Dini, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm so honored to have you on the show. The
Yes.
first
Yes.
show during
Um,
this pandemic in Hispanic Heritage Month. It's such an honor.
yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Para las personas que solamente hablan en español y no inglés, ¿puede decir algo en español?
Claro, ahora mismo estamos enfocados en cómo vamos a sobrevivir durante estos tiempos, y lo más importante es mantenerse saludable, mantener a la familia sana tú sabes, y tener fe y tener fe. Sí.
Y puede hablar un poco de tu video.
El video, la situación es donde yo expreso un poquito de frustración con todo lo que está sucediendo en el mundo, lo que es el abuso policial en contra de la gente de colores, los latinos, dándole motivación a los latinos a que tomen esto como su propia pelea también, y porque los latinos hemos estado callados por mucho tiempo. Le pido a los líderes latinos que también utilicen su plataforma y voces para que sean escuchados y para que motiven al resto de los latinos del mundo, porque estos problemas que tú sabes, la policía matando y esas cosas, está sucediendo en nuestra raza, tú sabes, entonces nadie está hablando acerca de eso. Es importante que ya empecemos a sacar las garras y, y utilizar nuestras plataformas y voces para que seamos escuchados y tomar ejemplo tú sabes, como te dije, no me gusta utilizar color porque al final del día somos humanos, somos uno, pero lo que está sucediendo con la raza morena también, prestarle atención a lo que está sucediendo porque está sucediendo con nosotros también, y tomar eso en consideración y como nuestra pelea.
Y puedo hablar también, ¿por qué esta plataforma? Tú tienes otras cosas que tú puedes hacer, pero esta plataforma con música, tú tienes algo muy, ¿cómo se dice? Con un amor ahí. So,
Claro.
¿por qué eso?
Porque la música creo que es lo más influencial del mundo. Tú sabes, la gente, tú te quieres sentir feliz, tú escuchas música. Tú te quieres alejar de tu problema, tú te quieres relajar un rato, tú escuchas música. So, tú sabes, utilizando la música para abrirle la mente a la gente y motivar y tú sabes, y darle, y darle fuerza para influenciar a la gente a que echen adelante tú sabes, y utilizar la música para mandar el mensaje correcto. Yo creo que como la música es lo más influencial que tenemos en este mundo, tengo que utilizar mi posición como artista para cumplir eso.
Y hay muchas canciones que una persona puede escuchar, pero ¿cómo puede decir a una persona que nunca odió tu música? ¿Qué tú puedes decir y por qué la música que tú tienes?
Bueno, yo no me considero cualquier artista, yo soy un artista que tengo que vivir mi nombre, Udini La Voz. Yo tengo que ser un artista que tú sabes que habla con sentido, que te va a abrir, que te va a ayudar a motivarte, a sobrevivir, tú sabes, solamente por las experiencias que he tenido. Um, y solo, estando solo en los Estados Unidos, en la posición que me encuentro, como artista, yo creo que, tú sabes, a veces se necesita escuchar a alguien que tenga sentido, alguien que te diga las cosas como es, porque tú sabes, no nos podemos perder en lo que es y menéate y toma, pero nadie te está diciendo lo que en realidad tú necesitas escuchar. Tú sabes, todo eso está bien. Yo no estoy tratando de tumbar ningún otro artista. Todo eso está bien para ciertos momentos. Tú sabes, la fiesta y la celebración y esas cosas, eso es necesario, of course. Pero también, hey, ¿quién no va a guiar tú sabes, quién no va a mantener en el camino recto? ¿Quién no va a fortalecer? Tú sabes, eso yo quiero ahí donde yo entro. Udini La Voz.
Udini La Voz. Y final, ¿qué tú quieres decir a los gentes o los personas que viven en Panamá o está aquí
En
en
Panamá,
Son
bueno, tú sabes,
país?
sí, en Panamá la gente están, tú sabes, mi gente ahora mismo están bajo mucha preservación por lo que está pasando con el COVID-19. So, que tengan fe, que tengan paciencia ante todo, porque tú sabes, Panamá es un país muy libre, la gente le gusta estar afuera, le gusta la fiesta y esas cosas. Um, tú sabes, tomar los pasos adecuados para mantenerse sano, con salud tú sabes, y tener paciencia, que en realidad todo va a pasar.
Así
Sí,
mismo.
y a la gente alrededor del mundo también lo mismo, le mando los mismos mensajes, tú sabes, tener paciencia y enfocarse en la salud, porque ahora mismo, tú sabes, hemos perdido a muchos humanos a través del COVID-19 y otras enfermedades. So, tú sabes, tenemos que poner nuestra salud por encima de todo.
Sí.
So, enfocarse en la salud.
Gracias, Udini La Voz, por su
Sí,
tiempo.
of course.
Thank you so much for your time, Udini La Voz. It's just been phenomenal experience having this virtual experience with you for the first talk show. I
Yeah.
wish you many, many, many more success
Thank you
in
so
your
much.
walk, during COVID-19 and after. Yeah, you just have so much coming on the horizon. I think we haven't even broken the ceiling glass yet.
Yeah, it's a lot more. Yeah, I believe.
Gracias por todo. And until
Hey,
next time.
yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for watching and tuning into this episode of In Focus. We'll be back next week with another episode and a new special guest. So be sure to follow us on WITN22.org and all of our social media accounts. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter by looking up the hashtag WITN22Wilm or the handle WITN22Wilm. Thank you so much. Take care.